So, to start off with a little disclaimer, I have not watched every movie in 2020. Some movies like Minari, Nomadland, 9 Days, or Promising Young Woman don't come out on a wide release till like early next year, so I wasn't able to see those. And yeah, this wasn't the best year for movies, to put it lightly, but there were still some really good movies worth talking about. But before I get into it, I just want to say if you liked the video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Alright, let's get into it. So before I get into my top 10, I would like to list a few honorable mentions. The Wolf of Snow Hollow, Another Round, Yes God Yes, The King of Staten Island, Palm Springs, SpongeBob Sponge on the Run, Bad Education, and Hubie Halloween. What, sue me, I enjoy Adam Sandler's comedy sometimes. Starting off with number 10, I got Soul, directed by Pete Docter. This was one of the most anticipated movies of the year for me, and I was so happy this was one of the few films that actually did end up coming out this year. I didn't love this movie, but I thought it had some strong, poignant themes that everyone should see. The movie had outstanding visuals, good acting, and it's yet another win for Pixar even though it's not perfect. At number 9, I have Wonder Woman 1984 by Patty Jenkins. So this movie ended up causing a lot of interesting discourse because many people really didn't like this, and some people, like myself, really enjoyed it. Sure, it's illogical and messy at points, but this movie just had a lot of heart, a great score, good acting, and it's just really entertaining to me. Seriously, I also haven't genuinely cared about a villain in so long, but I loved Pedro Pascal's Max Lord in this. Alright, coming in at number 8, we have Run, directed by Anish Kaganti. Oh man, I'm so sorry if I butchered that. But this was a huge surprise to me. It ended up going straight to Hulu and became a huge hit there. I thought this movie was really thrilling, simple, fun, and very smart. I'd highly recommend this movie if you love thrillers. Coming in at number 7, I have The Invisible Man by Lee Wanell. From the trailers, I thought this was going to be a really cringe, nonsensical thriller that would come out early in the year and everyone would forget about. But no, this is a phenomenally directed, super intense, and just a really creative movie. This and Run feel really similar in that they're really simple thrillers elevated by phenomenal directing and acting. I loved this movie. At number 6, I have Da 5 Bloods. I thought this movie was excellent. It's not perfect. I think if Spike Lee trimmed 15 to 20 minutes off of it, it would have flowed a lot better, but this movie was amazing. I really think that Delroy Lindo's performance is Oscar level, and not to mention the filmmaking is also just great. It's heartbreaking, unpredictable, and brutally realistic at points. After BlacKkKlansman, I really do feel like Spike Lee is at his peak right now. At number 5, I have Onward, directed by Dan Scanlon. This movie was utterly phenomenal in my opinion. I think this might be the most personal and emotionally resonant Pixar film for me. I don't think I've related this hard to a fictional character in such a long time. It was kind of scary. This movie was so emotional, vibrant, creative, and very well made. It's also the last movie I saw in the theaters, and I really hope it's not my last. Coming in at number 4, we have Black Bear, directed by Lawrence Michael Levine. I didn't really know what to expect from this movie. I knew a little bit about it, and that it did well at Sundance, but I had no idea what the plot was really about. There aren't many movies that I watch where I sit down and think about it for a straight hour to figure out what I watched. And most of the time I can see there being 1 or 2 really accurate interpretations, but for this film I can see there being 5 to 10 really sound theories, and I couldn't really dismiss any of them. Not to mention, this is easily Aubrey Plaza at her best. Her acting in this is tremendous, and this is probably the most unique movie I've seen all year. At number 3, I have Sound of Metal, directed by Darius Smarter. I love this movie. I really hope Riz Ahmed wins Best Actor, and that this movie gets all the sound awards. Watching this movie really made me feel like I was losing my hearing, and I had to go make some sort of sound, tapping on my desk just to make sure I wasn't tripping. Everything about this just felt so raw, bittersweet, and ultimately, I feel like it has the best overall message of the year. This being, accept what you have, and live your life the best you can instead of focusing on the stuff you've lost. At number 2, I have I'm Thinking of Ending Things, directed by Charlie Kaufman. Wow, this movie was incredible. I ended up watching this movie 3 times just to catch all the hidden details, and I love when that happens. I really love digging into movies, and this was one that was just full of stuff to pick out. This movie is able to do a lot with very little. Most scenes take place in one location for a prolonged amount of time, so it's very reliant on performances, and you can also tell they really had to get creative with their shot compositions to make the scenes interesting. It's a very sad, at times nihilistic film with incredible performances from Jessie Buckley and Jesse Plemons, who really did a lot of heavy lifting to make this film interesting. If you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix and I'd highly recommend it. Alright, we finally reached it. The number 1 film of 2020. Before I reveal my number 1 pick, I just want to say all the films I mentioned on here I really like, and the number 1 film to me is just the one that stuck out the most and felt the most personal. Alright, my number 1 film of the year is... Shithouse. Wait, is that really what it's called? Huh. Yep, and I'm also pretty certain no one knows what this is. This movie is directed by Cooper Raiff. Oh well, never mind, I'm sorry. And he actually won the top prize at South by Southwest, not to mention he's the main star, and he wrote it, and he's only 23. I would strive to make something this good in my lifetime, let alone at 23. So this movie is a brutally realistic depiction of a freshman's year at college. I feel like most college films make college feel kinda glamorous, and at times it can be, but something that isn't tapped into all that often is that feeling of, like, loneliness.
Can I tell you a secret? I have 0 friends.
I felt so utterly transported into this movie, and I completely saw myself in the protagonist here. My first year of college, it was really hard adjusting to a new environment and being away from family. It's really hard to make lasting friendships as there's just so many people, and the parties were pretty lame if I'm being honest. But back to the movie, there's lots of long takes and dialogue that feels extremely organic. I really felt like I had just left home again and experienced a couple days at college, and I was just able to walk around campus. It was just so incredibly immersive and relatable to me. There's not like any Oscar level cinematography or acting or whatever, but it's just so deeply raw and personal. It's the only film this year that made me feel so excited and inspired after I watched it. It really felt like a movie that was made just for me, and I don't want to go into a lot more detail about it because not a lot of people have seen this movie, and I think it 100% deserves a watch. Alright, that's it. The year is finally over. Thank God. And those were my favorite movies of this year. So what did you guys think of my top 10 of the year? Do you agree with my picks? And what are your favorite movies of the year? I'd love to know all that in the comments below, and if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. But one more quick thing, for 2021, I really wanted to make a change in my YouTube channel. I put in a lot of effort into my videos this year, but I haven't really gotten a lot of growth. So I'm gonna make a second channel under the same name, but it's going to be strictly movie reviews, TV reviews, rankings, and much more. My plan is to upload at least 2 to 3 times a week on that channel and really focus more on the quantity and consistency aspect. As far as this current one, I'm still gonna upload, so don't worry. I'm gonna leave this channel strictly for video essays and pitch videos, and I'm just gonna be prioritizing quality over quantity here, so I'm only gonna upload once every other week, or, at least try to. But anyway, if you guys like my content and want to support me, it'd mean a lot if you could go to the comments below and subscribe to my new channel. I'm gonna try and do a lot of really exciting stuff next year, hopefully. Thanks for listening to that long update / rant. I really do appreciate everyone that supported me this year, even though it's a pretty small amount of people. With all that being said, I hope you guys have a great day.